The NFL has just given teams $22 million to go on a spending spree this free agency. The only problem is, the talent is as scarce as toilet paper during COVID. But is this truly the worst free agent class in NFL history? I'm your host, Trenton Hill, and you just might be watching Hill Time Sports. Let's go! With the cap set at $301 million, teams can now spend to their heart's desire. Lost on some people is teams are required to spend at least 90% of their cap or pay the NFL the amount of money they have left to spend. Basically, it's like a dead cap situation, but it goes to the almighty NFL. This poses a problem for teams like the Tennessee Titans, who have $105 million to spend, and teams like the Raiders and Chargers with over $85 million in their reserves. Teams were betting on players like Kyle Pitts or Breece Hall to hit the open market. Jerry Jones is certainly to use the franchise tag to retain George Pickens, who had career highs in yards and touchdowns. He ain't letting him walk away like he did Micah Parsons in a trade. Some people point to the free agent class of 2017, where Case Keenum ended up in Minnesota. Alshon Jeffrey signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. Both played in the NFC Championship game that year. And Mike Lennon, a $45 million signing to go play for the Chicago Bears. But it's the 2026 free agent class comparable to 2017. The quarterback situation is betting on Malik Willis, a complete unknown whether or not he is a franchise quarterback or not. He's still young, threw some touchdowns when he replaced Jordan Love, who was down with injury, didn't win any games, but he's got connections to the Dolphins coach, Jeff Hafley. Will he sign there? Who knows? Then you got Daniel Jones, who is expected to sign back with the Colts after a resurgence in 2025 that ended in a torn Achilles. And then you got your others. You got a Marcus Mariota, who's a dependable backup, and a Russell Wilson, who is going to try and find a team, and Aaron Rodgers, who's 42 years old and his best days are behind him. With teams having extra money, players are definitely going to be paid a king's ransom, which leads me to believe there may be some busts out there, some guys that are overpaid to the levels of a Timothy Mozgov, who signed for the Lakers in NBA terms. Now, if you want an NFL term situation, Albert Haynesworth in 2009 signed with the Washington Redskins for over $100 million. I can almost compare this class to 2011, where the Eagles assembled the Dream Team, where they signed Nnamdi Asomugha, Jason Babbitt, Ronnie Brown, and others, and then finished with the 4-12 record and releasing Andy Reid. Players like Alec Pierce, Jaelan Phillips, and Devin Lloyd will definitely benefit the most from the uptick in cash. Pierce, who had over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns, and famously carving the Texans before being thrown out because he shoved the little referee, will definitely get a high salary. He's probably going to re-sign with the Colts, from what I'm hearing. Jaelan Phillips, who turned the Philadelphia Eagles into an even better defense, is going to command a lot of money. In my opinion, he's got boom or bust potential. Yes, he has been fantastic for the Eagles, but look at how many games he played in 2023 and 2024. He played in 12 games in those 2 years due to significant injuries. The Philadelphia Eagles are frontrunners to re-sign Jaelan Phillips, but is his price tag a little too high, and will he live up to it? Players like Rashid Shaheed will excite crowds. Devin Lloyd has been linked to New England and Dallas, who desperately need to get their defense out of the swamp. This class, from a defensive standpoint, does remind me of 2017, a year with a shortage of talent, but players like Calais Campbell and Stephon Gilmore come to mind as impact players that sign big deals. With the shallow free agency class, people are going to have to maximize their draft assets and perhaps make some trades for difference makers. Quarterback needy teams take a chance on Tua. The quarterback may have had one too many concussions, and he's got a pop gun for an arm. His contract could be a headache for cap-strapped teams, but for teams like the Titans, they could take on that cash and maybe receive a second-round pick for their troubles. DJ Moore's time in Chicago, DJ Moore's time in Chicago may be up. Is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? I'm hearing Kayvon Thibodeaux for DJ Moore. That sends a receiver to help out Jackson Dart, who lost everyone last year, including himself sometimes, and to shore up a Chicago Bears defensive line that barely got any pressure, if at all, last season. In just 2 weeks, though, we will find out who moves and who stays, but this is a far cry from 2024, where the Eagles signed a game changer like Saquon Barkley, or 2012 when Peyton Manning went to the Denver Broncos and won a Super Bowl in 2015. This is along the lines of the 2011, 2017, and the 2022 lackluster free agent classes, and to top it off, players will be overpaid. Is this the worst free agency class of all time? Well, unfortunately, we have the power of foresight to look back at the previous free agency classes, but on paper, this is perhaps the most underwhelming free agent class in recent memory. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is this the worst? Is this okay? Who do you want your team to sign? And like always, we are trying to get to 230 subscribers by the end of the week. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell. C'est la vie. Stay blessed. Adios. Boom.